Hello and welcome to the Week 3 Monster Pod presented by TheLines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Anders. Joined this week, Ryan Noonan from 4 for 4 if you haven't checked their stuff out. Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. This is 4.5 at home in favor of the Seahawks. 41.5 is the prevailing total out there. We know no Tua Tagovailoa in this game for the Dolphins, but they still have some pretty good players on that side. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks who, yeah, they're winning games. I have my questions about the Seahawks in this one. Steven, what are you going to do with Dolphins and Seahawks?
Yeah, I think I can't just automatically assume that Skylar Thompson is horrible. We haven't seen him in a while. He made it very scary for the Bills in a playoff game. I mean, Ryan, I will change my opinion with more information, that's for sure. But he's at least been in the system, right? It's not like Malik Willis showing up, who's been hideous. And, you know, we haven't seen Skylar Thompson in a few years. And if what we believe about Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel is that maybe the quarterback doesn't matter as much as it does for other teams. I mean, Tua was already number one in the league and getting the ball out of his hands every play. So it's scheme, it's getting the ball quickly to the first read on these plays. So, I mean, Skylar Thompson's probably bad, but he's not a rookie anymore. He's been in the system for a while. So I can't confidently say that he's just doo-doo and this should be, 6.5. I don't know that for sure. And combine that with the Seahawks having a really long injury report this week that may or may not trend in the right direction. I just think there's just so many unknowns in this game, guys, that I just want to stay away.
I took the 4.5. I did it. I'm the guy.
On Skylar or Seattle?
I took the 4.5. Look, I do not like what I've seen from the Seahawks so far this year. I was pretty high on the Seahawks coming into this season, and this was through 2 weeks. Again, we're very small sample size, but it's like we say small sample size, but there's only 18 games, right? There's only 18 weeks. And so it's like, you kind of have to start forming some opinions on games fairly quickly, because if you wait until week 10, then you've waited too long. So I've not liked what I've seen so far from Seattle. The fact that they've had to scratch and claw to get things done in these first couple of weeks. And here comes Miami with still some pretty damn good players on the offensive side of the ball, that where Skylar Thompson, if there is any sort of scheme, as you mentioned, Steven, should be able to find a little bit of success somewhere along the way in all of this. And so I don't know, it was the number 4.5 to me. If this was, a field goal or lower, I'm never playing it, but if you're going to get me on the other side of 4, I think that they can do enough to keep this thing fairly close. What say you, Ryan?
I hate that we have two of the young, exciting coaches in the league, and it's Mike McDaniel and Mike McDonald. And it's just going to be confusing at sometimes. They're going to slip up and say the wrong guy. And we're talking about both of them all the time because I think they're both great at what they do. That's super annoying. Go back and don't suffer through it. But look through a little bit of what happened in that playoff game in Buffalo, right? The final score tells you that it was 34-31. The Bills won, and Skylar Thompson kept them in that game. 17-0 Buffalo. Josh Allen decided that he was still cowboy Josh Allen and wanted to chuck the ball around, got picked off twice, fumbled. All of these happened in Miami territory. So Miami started working with some really, really short fields. Kept that game close, but he was like 18-45 with a real low ADOT, trying to just check down. And they're probably smart, right? Like, you have guys that can make plays after the catch, get the ball into Devin Achane's hands, get it into Tyreek's hands, Waddle, let him kind of cook, right? Kind of mitigate some of the deficiencies along the offensive line, because this Seahawks team can really generate pressure because the scheme is great. We've seen it, and we'll get to it, I think, here in a little bit with what's happening with the Ravens. This is a coach-driven scheme, and he's able to get more out of these players than, I think, based off of just the talent. So I like the Seahawks. I worry about the injury report. I think they're also another team that I'm surprised at their pass rate over expectation. I think part of it is they just weren't able to really trust Zach Charbonnet to run and carry them last week. They relied a lot on Geno. Offensive line is not doing a great job protecting it, but he's doing a great job at avoiding sacks. That feels maybe like a house of cards that could collapse at some point. But again, tough spot for Miami to travel here. In Seattle, I really like the Seahawks. I don't want to move off my priors too much, because I thought last week was going to be a tough spot for Seattle to go in that game and go to New England, just west to east early in the season, all those different things. So 4.5 is way better than 6.5. Not super interested in Seattle there, but I like Seattle at 4.5 because I want to really buy into this team. And I think that they're going to be a team that's going to be in the mix all season here in the NFC. So Seattle minus 4.5 is a play.
Want to thank Ryan Noonan for joining us here. 4 for 4, guys. If you haven't gone over there, check out everything they do over the site. Been one of the staples for me for a very, very long time, as well as Steven. So be sure to go in, take in all the great work that they do over there. And if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, everything we do, absolutely free. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comment section how terrible we were at picking some of these games. Like we're always in for the criticisms, and let us know which sides that we're just completely wrong on in all of these things. Appreciate it, guys, and good luck on all your week 3 bets.